Welcome back to another Pro School episode. And today we are going to be looking at a fun feature that we knocked out, or that I knocked out last week, for one of our customers that came on board and did white glove with us. This is something that they needed for speed to lead. So we got it done. We knocked it out. Um, and it was not that hard of a feature, but it has a lot of value, especially for specific companies that need this for how little it took to add it. So, and that is embeddable lead forms through ProLine. So we have these in our integrations area. We already have the web leads, which we've done a Pro School on before. The web leads integration allows you to through a webhook, connect to almost any contact form on almost any website, as long as that contact form can be connected through a webhook, either directly or through Zapier. Then you can use the web leads integration to connect a form into ProLine and push new leads and projects into ProLine automatically. Now, this is still the preferred way to do it. So if you can do it through the web leads integration, do it through the web leads integration. If you can't do it through the web leads integration, then you can do it through Zapier. So you can set up a Zapier. So that covers 98% of situations where you want to connect your website to ProLine. And those are still our recommended choices, is have your own lead form on your website that you control, that you can fully customize, and then connect that into ProLine to push new leads into ProLine and start them on speed to lead campaigns by using the web leads integration. However, there are certain websites out there there is no possible way to connect them either through Zapier or webhooks, either because they're just custom coded and don't have that capability, or they're just really limited website builders. Things like GoDaddy websites can't connect in any way. Wix and Squarespace does. There's a few other very simple website builders, kind of like GoDaddy's websites, that you can't connect in any way through a lead form, and you can't connect through Zapier. And for those cases, instead of trying to connect the form that is on the site to ProLine, you can now generate a form from ProLine that you can embed on the website using HTML. And so the way you do that is just go into the web forms integration. You create a new form. So we'll just call this website form. And then you have some ability to customize this form that you're creating. So, and I'm just realizing I just did an update to our color buttons, and it looks like there is some sort of bug where it's not showing the color. So I'm going to need to fix that. But you will be able to you do have the ability to set colors, the colors for the label, the border, the buttons on the form. So you can have the form that ProLine is creating match the color scheme on your website. You also have the ability to determine whether or not this form collects an address. So that is the only customizability as far as the actual appearance of the form that we have right now. So this is one of the reasons why we still recommend using the lead form or the web leads integration, because then you have a lot more control over the form. This form that's being generated by ProLine is very simple in nature. But if we do preview form, and it is saving the color, so it's not showing the color. So we'll actually choose some values that make sense here. So we have border color, button regular color. Yeah, it's just not showing them when they're saved. Button text color, choose white. Let's preview that. Okay, so now we have those values that were put in for the colors, and this is what the form will look like. It automatically has the disclaimer that's required for phone carrier registration for ATP 10DLC, which is what keeps your phone numbers from being flagged as spam when you text people and call people. So this is required for that. So we automatically put that into all the forms. And then it has first name, last name, email, phone. How can we help you? It's very, very simple. If you select to collect the address, the form becomes a little bit longer and you have street address, city, state, zip, in addition to all the other contact form elements. And then down here underneath here, you can choose all the related settings for the leads that are being pushed into ProLine. So you can say who you want it to be assigned to. And you don't have to select somebody here, but you can. What stage you want to put them in. Usually you want this to be new leads. Project tag, you can have a tag added to the project if you want to put something there. So you can say website if you want. And then lead source, which is a separate thing from project tag now. We have lead source on the contact level. And so we want to make sure we have the right lead source selected here. Now this, you might say, well, why are we putting website on the project tag and on the lead source? And the reason it's actually good to have both, because you want to know that this project came from your website, but you also want to know that if this contact was already in the system and already came from another source, maybe Google LSA or Google Ads, you want to be able to track that this project, the lead source for this project was originally Google LSA. Well, it's still helpful to know that this specific project was started via the website. That's not necessarily the lead source. The original lead source was whatever the contact originally came in as, but for project tag, it's helpful to have both. They just now mean different things. Whereas in the past, we only had project tag, and so that was sort of serving for both. Contact tag, we also have contact tags now. So if you want to tag the contact, you can. And then contact type will just default to whatever's set your account. It's usually going to be a customer contact type, or you can select it. And then, of course, you want to select your speed to lead campaign. And now all of that is saved for this contact form. And we can copy the embed code down here at the bottom for this form. And I'm going to jump over into this is our website, useproline.com. And I just have a web page here that I'm going to play around on for a second. So I have this HTML block. This is Elementor, is what we use for our public marketing facing website for ProLine. And so it has this HTML code block. Pretty much every website at the end of the day is built with HTML and CSS on the web. So at some level, you're going to have the ability to add custom code like this to pretty much every single website in existence. There's going to be some website builders that might be limited and won't allow this. That is still possible. But to my knowledge, even most of the very simple web builders like GoDaddy websites and stuff like that are still going to have the capability to add some sort of custom code block where it's needed. And so you should be able to do that. And so this is going to cover 99% of those cases where you can't connect it to web leads, but you still need the form. So if we paste this in, we can see that the form will appear almost immediately. It has our color choices for everything that's in here. So that will match whatever else we have on our website. And then we can control quite a few different elements of this to make it appear how we want. So if we can control it using just the web builder itself, because the form is going to be to a certain extent dynamic. It is specifically dynamic on width, but there's some limitations with embedding stuff like this where it's not going to really scale up and down with height. And so when it comes to height, you do have to be a little bit more intentional about setting the right height value so that if this is set too low, and we automatically put in when you copy the code what we believe to be the right height value, basically based on whether or not you're including the address fields. But if I were to set this as too low, you'll see that the form appears, but we have a scroll bar. We don't want that. So just making sure if you just use the default height that comes when you copy it, probably going to be good, but you never know, you might need to customize that for your specific website. As far as width goes, generally you're just going to want to leave this at 100% so that it scales. So as we change the width of the box that this is in through Elementor or whatever your website builder is, it's going to adjust the width of the form automatically. But if we do want to control it, we can. So we can say, instead of 100%, we can say 100 pixels. And so that's really, really narrow. We'll say 400 pixels wide. So we can control that width that way as well. Or we can just say, we don't even have to say max width. If we really just want to be specific, the problem with having width is that it's going to potentially, on like mobile devices, it won't shrink if it's, so it can like push out to the sides of the mobile screen. So generally you want to stick with max width. And this is kind of in a pinch, you can do this. Ideally, you would just leave this at 100%, just like it comes out of ProLine. And then you would adjust the width by controlling the container in which it's in, which should be really easy to do using whatever website builder you're using. So let's save this. Now we have this web form here. And let's take a look. I'm just going to preview this page. So we have this form here, and we're just going to do a little test. And one little touch, if you are a Canadian-based company, which we have a few customers that are in Canada, this will say postal code instead of zip code for you. And so that will work for both locations. Test message. Once it's submitted, give this little message here. And so that's sort of the way it will appear on your website. And then if we go into our demo page here, we can see a new lead has been created with this contact. We can see that it started the website leads campaign. If we go into the contact information, we see that the lead source was set, project details, we can see that we got the right tag here, and we pulled in that address right here. So it's all good to go. And so that pretty much covers it. Trying to think anything else to kind of go over with this. It's really annoying that those colors are not working. I'm going to fix that tonight. They are still saving, it just not showing what color is currently selected. So we'll fix that. But other than that, it is working good. The main limitation with this is that this is just not very customizable. You have the ability to color match, and then you have the ability to turn on or off address. Someday, eventually, once we do, knock out everything else that's on our list, this is not going to be a super high priority, but eventually we will have the ability probably to control every row in this form, every field in this form, and that will be cool. But that is definitely like a late stage after we've done all the AI stuff we want to do, and after we do broadcasts and all of that. So maybe 2025 we'll come back and I'll add, or one of our devs will add in that capability. But for right now, it's pretty much set, and this is the extent of the control that you have. So yeah, any questions, any thoughts?
I've got one. So this web forms integration would be, you're saying it would be on a website or a source where you couldn't normally do the web hooks, or is this just an alternate way of doing that?
Yes, it's kind of both. But primarily the use case for this feature is as a fallback in case you can't use the webhook connection. So do you have the webhook connection set up right now for your website for Speed Delete?
I do, but I have to get with my website builder because I think they're zapping in my form from my website to the lead, like you just showed, and then it would be a speed delete from the website. But I also have discovery questions in there, so it's not just name, address, phone number, email. It's, in addition to that, it's a lot of more discovery questions. But that second half, where all the discovery questions are, I need to zap those into the notes of that, because there aren't any fields in a project where you could make that happen. It would just all their answers to the questions in the discovery form would be in the notes box down there.
Yeah. It's
So
not, it's not doing that for you right now.
no, I don't think I have it set up because it was just like a quick,
Like,
just get that taken care of real quick in case someone fills it out. So it fills in.
yep.
So
Yeah, that's exactly why the recommendation right now is use the connection through Zapier or the web leads. Either is totally fine. Zapier is just a little bit more costly. But
yeah,
that is definitely the preferred approach because in fact, actually with how you're doing it, I think you have to go through Zapier because our web leads is also a little bit limited in how it's able to take in those extra fields and put them into the notes area, whereas you're going to have complete control over that with the Zapier. So you might actually want to just stick with Zapier. Don't even try to change that. But yeah, you're thinking about it the right way. And if you want to have those pre-qualification questions, that's where you're going to need to have you're going to want to have your own form. That's generally what I would recommend is like have your own form. If you can do that and connect it to ProLine, great. This is just a fallback for companies that no way to connect the form, their form on their website, or they are not even able to add a form on their website. In which case, this will solve that problem and provide a form that they can embed. So
is this something we can use in Yelp? Like if we have something through Yelp, it would feed in that way, or we have to do a direct integration with Yelp?
I am not positive. I actually thought of this exact thing earlier today, funny enough, and I was like, I wonder, um, or it was last night. I was talking to Gavin, who just joined us, and we were talking about Yelp, and it occurred to me, I wonder if there's a way to embed a form in Yelp. I personally, if I owned Yelp, would not allow my users to embed HTML. So I doubt there is, but you never know. There might be that they have a place in Yelp that you can embed some sort of HTML, in which case that could definitely work. This is definitely not a landing page. Um, it is just the form. So you wouldn't be able to you wouldn't be able to copy. I mean, I guess you could. So I don't even know what's going to happen with this. If I just put in this by itself, this is what you get. So it is loading this page virtually inside of your web page. So this is the page that's loading. So you could technically try to direct people here, but of course there's no ability to control any text or anything. It's just the form. But that is a good question. I'm curious because some people have success with Yelp and want to be able to funnel those into ProLine, and that we haven't yet found a good way to do that. So it is possible. Would be cool. All right. Any other questions? Okay. So we will wrap up here. And yeah, we're doing this. I think we're all good to go. And for anyone watching, by the time you see this, I will have fixed these colors. So it was looking great the other day. I don't know what happened. I'm going to fix it though. So thanks everybody for joining, and we'll wrap it up there.